Sean Capri, and welcome to We the GamerCast. It publishes on youtube.com/carpoolgaming and podcast services around the globe every single Monday, but patrons get it first. And you guys, I am so excited for being here, that you're here. Thank you so much for telling your mom, your dad, your friend. I'm a little off right now because I gotta open up about something right now. You on youtube.com/carpoolgaming, you guys are seeing something very special. We are now on video. I'm doing this in front of a camera. I had to put on a hat. I was gonna say I had to get ready, but let's be honest, I'm in everything that you guys always see me in. I don't really ever change, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because if you're new, here's the deal. Every week I have sweet hangs with a friend or a stranger from the internet, and if you want to let me know what you think of the show, if you want to be on the show, you can tweet at me at Sean Capri. Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. N64Josh is in the house. You guys, very exciting. You might be wondering, what's the deal with the video? What's happening here? Well, Carpool Gaming happened. Patreon.com/carpoolgaming. We had, I don't remember if it was the first. I feel like it was kind of high up there. I feel like we set our goals pretty high. We're like, well, if we reach this point, we'll do video for We the GamerCast. I think it's something that people have been wanting. They want to see the faces of all the stuff. We've got everything else on video. Well, now we've got the Nintendo Drive on video. We do it live most of the time. I think I'm going to be traveling a little bit this week, so we gotta sort some things out. But that's for another time. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, thanks to Patreon.com/carpoolgaming, this show just got better. It's video. You guys can engage with us on the YouTube channel and leave your comments and be part of the show and all that kind of stuff. And I think it's going to be good. I hope so. Anyways, I feel like I can already hear what you guys are saying. Why don't you do We the GamerCast live? And I need to think on that just probably for about 5 or 6 years. I think I need to just not jump into that just yet. And for the most part, I actually think today's conversation that you're about to hear with N64Josh is a good example of this, because I wonder, I mean, Josh is a very open person, and he doesn't get stage fright or anything like that. It's not like he kind of freezes up in front of the camera. So it's hard to say about this one, but I worry that being live, it will impact kind of how open it, and it kind of lessens the intimacy of the conversation, if that doesn't sound too weird to say. Like when I jump on these calls, whether it's Skype or now we're using Zencastr, just kind of pulling the curtain back. We use a brand new technology, Zencastr. Hopefully it looks okay and sounds all right. But I feel like it's just us. You know, and one of the things that I've really enjoyed doing this show is that it's rare in my life that I focus so heavily on the one thing. Right now, I'm just with you guys. I can still hear my kids kind of upstairs. Hopefully everything's going okay. But when I'm having conversations with people, it's just me and them. And if I'm at all distracted, it's not going to be very good at all. And you'll be able to hear it. So, I think the show will stay video pre-recorded. Hopefully you guys are okay with that, but it's really all thanks to the more than 90 patrons at patreon.com/carpoolgaming who just continue to blow me away. I've got this little spark, and actually N64Josh and I are going to chat about this a little bit. What the belief, where you start to lead our brains and what we want to go ahead and achieve. It's more than you can imagine. And I want to thank everybody who supports us at patreon.com/carpoolgaming, especially our ultimate producers, Dallas Ford, Dano, Emily O'Kelly, Trucker Sloth, Johnathan Brown, who has a brand new album. It's called In My Element. It's on Spotify and Apple Music. You owe it to yourself. Download that album. Links are in the show notes. Drew Agnew, that handsome son of a bitch from the House of Mario podcast. Go subscribe. It's one of the best Nintendo podcasts on the internet. You owe it to yourself. Lee Navarro, the fearless leader of the Phoenix Overdrive Extra Life team. I'm part of the Extra Life team. You guys should join the Extra Life team. We're talking about it in the Discord. People are coming to Rome. I'm going to Rome, New York. We're going to play together. It's going to be amazing. We're going to raise some money for those kids. So check the show notes. Please support all these amazing ultimate producers, because they just make all this possible, alongside our platinum producers, Brendan Myers, new platinum producers. Thank you, Brendan Myers. Mostly Martinez, Becky Rubin Navarro, Skinny Matt, and Robbie Bobby Miller, and all of our gold members, Anna, Tony Baker, Argo, Ashley Nicholson, Cecily Carrozza, Dallas Robbins, Foolish Fuji, Jose Jimenez, Mac Time, Marcus O'Neill, Nagachaka, new gold member Nagachaka, RJ Kern, The Snack Network, Tom Danks, and Mr. and Mrs. Nasty Boots. You guys, I am so grateful to everybody who supports us over there. And if you're not on Patreon, you can go over there, consider it. There's a lot of tiers there that you might like to see. And if not, leave a comment on the YouTube video, you leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done that already. And speaking of that YouTube video, we just hit 1,000 subs. I think I mentioned this last week, but we've carved out a bit of a plan. Next week, next Saturday, actually, we're going to be live doing a 1,000 sub celebration. We've got games to give away. We've got announcements to come. So if you guys thought that that Yumi Capri Day, Carpool Gaming Day, if you thought that was fun, you ain't seen nothing yet. We're still going, you guys. You have, I don't just say these things like, oh, you make us think that everything is like possible. Like, well, like that's just words, but we are going to show you what we're talking about. There is more to come, and I can't believe it, man. As well, on Saturday, I want to drive you guys' attention to Strive. You get it? You see what I did there? The Backtrackers. We have 1 week as I'm recording this, May 7th. We're going to be talking about Life is Strange. You've got a couple days left to finish the game. I'm saying this mostly for me. I've got a couple days left that I can finish this game, and then we're going to talk about it. We're going to be totally spoiler filled, but I want you guys to be there. It's in the Discord. Links are in the show notes as well. The Backtrackers is a video game book club, and we all play a game that we choose ahead of time, and we're going to meet, we're going to hang out, we're going to talk about it, and it's going to be amazing. Super, super fun, man. Goodness gracious. Now, I think that's all I need to tell you guys. I had a lot to say. I think that might be it. But a lot of the things that I really talked about, you guys should, the Pants Patreon podcast, for patrons podcast, for the $3 tier and up, got into some things this week, man. But I don't want to delay the conversation with N64Josh any further, because I got to say, I don't know if it's like trigger warning, but we definitely open up here, man. I'm really, really grateful for Josh's friendship. And we do talk about Bobby Paul's, the Nintendo Guru, is closer to the end, but I'm just grateful that I can have these types of conversations. And I had this as I'm recording this intro. This was last night. I've been thinking about it ever since. I think you guys are going to like this one. For those of you who don't know Josh, N64Josh, he's a content creator, who you probably would know from the Nintendo Power podcast. It's like the #1 Nintendo podcast on the damn internet. And he recently joined the Xbox Factor podcast. You can follow him on Twitter at N64Josh and get all of his links at n64josh.com/links. That's a smart URL, my friend. Here he is, my good friend, and hopefully your new friend, N64Josh. Oh my God, it's so good to see you, dude.
Likewise, bro.
What a smile. Holy cow. You just light up a whole damn room, dude.
It's new. It's a new
Your smile is new?
Yeah.
Did you get something done? What do you mean it's a new smile?
Yeah,
what are you
therapy.
talking about? Yeah? Really?
Yes, bro.
Ah, yes. Welcome to the club, my friend. Welcome to the family. I like it.
Real quick, as a producer, my audio files my wave is much smaller than yours. And
I know, is that weird? It always comes in a little bit strange, but it's all good. It's all good.
Also,
yeah,
are
I'm not
you
too
clipping?
worried about it.
Are you clipping?
Am I clipping? No.
Like your waves are hitting the top and bottom, which usually
I also record separately from this. The Zencaster I just use actually as a guide for everything, just to pull the curtain all the way back.
All right. Sorry.
Well,
as the producer in me, I just was like,
No, you're like, you should probably like be careful about that. How do I sound to you though? Because it does look a certain way. Like, does it sound okay?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So it comes through in the audio, it is a little deceiving, I have to say, this Zencaster.
Got it.
It is a little bit like, hey, don't make me freak out, Zencaster. I'm trying to have a conversation here.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I'm saying?
I get it. So, therapy.
All right, welcome. Yeah, therapy. Yeah, good for you. Holy crap.
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months of therapy?
I took a month off now.
Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was 40 years of... I can't do this. I can't remember.
I don't know. Yeah, sure.
I feel like, nah. You'll have to edit.
I don't really edit anything.
Like 41 years of self-loathing. I mean, I didn't start when I was born, but, you know.
You come out, you're just like, damn it.
As far as I can remember back, yeah, I was like, yeah, they were like, you've just ruined our lives. You know, I was like, hey, thanks. I'm glad to be here. Well, you know, yeah, undoing a lot of damage, you know?
Yeah.
Like, realizing I was fighting a lot of demons that, you know, didn't really exist, but everything, my self-worth was all tied to my level of success, and my level of success always moved.
Yeah. All over the place.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel like that's something that a lot of people really do deal with is like, is the self-worth thing, the valuing yourself. But I don't think anybody ever thinks about it in that way. Like it just sort of like sneaks up on you a little bit. Like, hey, bud, how are you feeling about yourself? You don't really you don't say, am I valued at such and such a level? Like that's not how we look at it. And that's why it gets so sneaky. And that's why you can deal with it for so long, or why it can affect you for so long before you finally go, hey, hang on a second. What's going on here?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, that's right. I mean, I tried to conquer it. I wrote a book about, enjoying the journey and falling in love with the process and all that stuff, right? But you got to fall in love with yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And you can't base your self-love on your success level.
Mm-hmm.
It can't happen. Because if you're like me, you're just like, oh, hey, yeah, this is working out good, but it's still not this.
Exactly. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be somebody faster, stronger, better, or whatever.
Yep.
Always something else. Yeah, dude, I feel like that's something that, again, more people need to just kind of have that look at life. And I don't know, where was it manifesting for you? Like, how was this kind of like coming up? How was it impacting you all these years?
Everywhere. I mean, I walked in complete self-loathing and darkness.
Yeah.
And from that, all I cared about is making sure other people didn't feel it. Right. And then instead of like potentially trying to lead, it feels weird talking about leadership because you're like, who the hell are you to talk? But like, it's just in me.
Yeah.
So I don't really care. So I'm going to talk about it like as if somebody is going to follow me. Right. So, I always viewed myself as a bridge, as a like hanging on the side of the mountain, just grabbing people and helping them get to the next level without moving myself, because I was like, hey, I'm stuck here, but you're not going to be,
Yeah.
Now I'm like, tie your rope onto mine. I will carry all of us up here if we have to. Let's freaking go, baby.
We're both going. Yeah, like, everybody's going up there.
Yeah, like that's where I'm at now. Like I feel so good. I don't want people just to not feel like I did. I want them to feel what I feel now.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I love that. I mean, you've always been infectious like that anyways. I think that analogy actually works out really nicely, because it's not like we haven't been getting that from you this whole time. Sure. Anybody who's in the same either virtual space or real space as you kind of feels that anyways. But yeah, I'm glad that you're getting even more out of it now, that it's mutually positive for everybody involved. Like, you don't want to sacrifice yourself for it. You can only serve others for so long before you think about, okay, like my happiness actually counts too. It's not even just about the success, but it's about making sure that you can wake up in the morning and you go like, I'm stoked to be here. I'm stoked about what the day has in store. Like when you have that kind of light in your life, you want to share it with everybody. I'm so glad to hear that for you, man.
Well, even just sitting here right now, there's a little bit there's a little bit of therapy going on right here.
Oh, dude, just opening it up and sharing. Yeah, yes, man.
But like, it wasn't tied to the success.
Right.
Yeah. My first session of therapy, I sat in there with tears in my eyes saying, I just want to win. It wasn't about the win. It was about, I wanted to be able to say I did something good enough that I could love myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you look back after all of this? Do you look back on years and like, how do you think about the past, given this new sort of look on things? Like, do you look on the past as it got you to this point, or do you go, man, I wish I learned this earlier? I wish I did things differently? Like, how do you look at the past?
It is what it is. I can't look at it and say I wish it was different, because that comes from a place of lack, and if you're lacking, you're not grateful. Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Right? That's kind of the way I see it. If you're looking at the lack, you're not grateful for what you have. Yeah, I totally agree. And it's not an easy thing. Like this isn't like, hey, flip that switch and do it. But like, it all boils down to a choice. Yeah. Like in some cases, right? I'm not sitting here and saying, like, I don't like. I know for the type of situation I was in, it boiled down to a choice. I felt the exact same way. And I know that's not like just what you said. Like, I know that's not the case for everybody. And there's definitely people even in this moment who are in a really dark place. And that's the last thing that they want to actually hear.
you know, but at the same time, it's an empowering thing though. Like in the end, like kind of when you are able to turn that corner, you're like, yeah, like it is up to me. Like it isn't up to anybody else. And it's so when you're in that dark place, you want a magic pill. You want somebody to go like, come on up, I'll fix it for you. But in the end, like it really is the reward. I think the joy that you're feeling right now is the fact that like you obviously did something, like you made a choice about something.
Let's camp right there for a second because I lost 70 pounds.
Yeah.
Right. And people would be like, yo, that's crazy. And I'm like, if I could do it, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
Like that sentence is like, no, like anytime somebody says that to me, I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and let you start over because you're the one that showed up to the gym. You're the one that didn't put the Cheetos in your mouth. You're the one that decided to work at it to make it happen. So don't, so now that you're, talking down to yourself, even in your successes, you got to celebrate that and then realize you made the choice first. In your mind, you said, here's what I'm going to go do. And you did it.
Yeah, man.
Right. And that's the power of, and that's why, I mean, because that sentence came out of my mouth all the time. Like, oh, that just means if I did it, anybody could do it. Because I've never viewed anything that I could do.
Oh, so you weren't even valuing your own like achievement enough.
No, not at all.
Oh, wow.
Not at all. Because of sentences like that. If I could do it, anybody can do it.
So that's even more than just the weight loss. It's probably about everything else. Like everything. You wrote a song, you wrote music, you do the podcast, you do all the things. Like if you can do it, anybody can do it. It's totally, I mean, and this is a fine line, right? Where you want to value yourself, but like, you don't want to get too blowhardy about it all. But at the same, like you gotta know, I feel like this is why encouragement is so important.
Yeah.
You know, like, because it's so seldom, sadly, it's so seldom that somebody else comes along and goes like, hey man, I see what you're doing. You're rocking it. And like, I see you do, like, look at our chat. Like we kind of go back and forth, like our DMs are just hey man, you're crushing it. Like, congratulations. And I really do think that when I look back in my past and I go, you know what I would have liked to have? Like, this is nothing I could have really done about it. I don't think this is a choice that I really made, but I would have liked to have more encouragement from friends back then, or even be like, coached or steered or like directed to go like, you want to have friends who like cheer you on and not like blindly. You want people to be critical about you, but that who you share your success with, I think tells a lot about who you are and what your life is really going to be like. Like, who are your friends? You know, I feel like, and we just had to open up the entire world. We had to go across the planet to find all these people, you know?
Your vibe brings your tribe is what I keep hearing.
Oh, over and over dude, again. That is a shirt. I love that. Yes.
And bro, these last 4 months for me, I don't even look at, like you ask about the past. I don't even look at it.
Good for you.
All I'm looking at my past is that I'm able to do all this cool stuff.
Yeah, man.
And I'm not looking at it from like, look at me. It's not that at all. It's like, no, I can. And here's the thing. It's now beyond me. Like my goals, I'll say them right here because we'll come back when I hit it. I want to employ 10 people at 6K at 6 figures a piece. That's my goal.
Yeah.
That we can create shows and content and have different revenue streams because that's $1 million a year. And I know that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but I don't doubt my ability to do it.
Good, man. Good for you. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I don't care.
Well, and you said it before, it's about the journey. Like it's about like, I love this moonshot idea where you kind of go like, yeah, maybe like to somebody else, this might sound outrageous, but to me, like I kind of see a path to it. And it has to start with you. Again, it's not going to be somebody else going like, hey man, you should go do this. And here's how you're going to get to 6 people being employed at this level. Like, no, it has to start with you. And I think that there's a level of like courage that comes along with that is not that common. There's a lot of times where you can really talk yourself out of something. There's always a reason not to get started on something. There's always like a hiccup or whatever. And I think this is why you and I kind of vibe pretty good, Josh, because like I have almost a visceral reaction to like the word can't. Like we can't do that. There's not enough. And I do it to my own self though, where I go, if I say I can't get to these games, I was just talking to a friend TPR on the Patreon about this, about my freaking out that I can't get to enough games. I'm like, no, like there's always a way to do stuff. And I think that's actually at the core of it. I don't like hearing can't. I go, list it out and I'll get to it. You know, that's it. That's the only thing. I just got to get out of my own way.
All that ever pops into my mind is it's a sculpture, and I've got the chisel in my hand, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking at the rock. I'm looking at and let's start getting that, working that statue, whatever it is. Like, look what we have from people that did that very thing. Right.
Dude. Yeah, man. I mean, this angle of gratitude, even just from, like I said, when you wake up in the morning, like, yeah, here I am. Thank goodness this happened. Thank goodness I'm awake. I'll open my eyes and like, yeah, that's a pretty good place to start the day. I was actually, this morning, I woke up at 5 minutes before I was supposed to. And I was like, yeah, I did it. But you know what else I did? I closed my eyes again and I woke up at 90 minutes later. I missed my morning workout, but I went after work. So I gotta get that in though, but it's all good. And the thing is, they give me when I go to the gym, it's actually a rec center. So they give me wristbands whenever I go. So I'm keeping these suckers right now, man. I'm just getting started. I've got 4 here. I've gone 4 out of 4 days in a row. And I'm gonna tie a rope around the world with these things, man.
I was really hoping you would maybe turn those into some kind of leotard. And
I'll do that. I still haven't really decided. I'm just gonna kind of gather materials.
I know you got the Patreon. Is there OnlyFans for
dude? It's funny you say that because last week on this show, I closed the show. Now I'm gonna do every show ends with a clip of Bobby. And last week's show was Bobby answering a comment in the chat, in his Twitch chat, about whether or not he's going to start an OnlyFans or not. And he's like, I just got to talk it over with Carrie and I'll start an OnlyFans. And he was just laughing about it, just laughing about it. But man, I hear there's good money on that. Like, talk about self-worth. Yeah, right. Go start an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I bet you'd do pretty good on OnlyFans, Josh.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, I think you'd do all right. I don't know how the family would be with it, but hey, kids.
They're all about getting that bag,
Yeah, man. How would you, is this a weird question to ask? Like, if you had kids who did something like that?
Get that bag.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to live with your choices and yourself. I would have, I'd just be like, if this is.
Yeah. Be safe.
But
if you can get paid, yeah, man, you see some of these. Yeah, I know. That's awesome. Can I ask, like, if there was anything that, like, did somebody nudge you on the shoulder and go like, hey, I've been speaking to somebody and I think you'd like this person? Like, what led you to start up this 4-month journey?
I was just, everything was so, like, I landed an incredible job.
Yep.
Right? So there was a lot of outside circumstances that should be pointing to happiness because success was taking place. Mm-hmm. And I was still miserable.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of this that is tied to my past within the church. I was in leadership, right? And that's a lot of that. I mean, the unfortunate thing is there's a lot there about keeping up appearances and, sometimes people don't like to call it what it is when it's not good because that's just the way it goes,
Yeah.
And there's also an element of grace that needs to take place and all that kind of stuff. But, when you've been told your whole life by the community you're supposed to be a part of that you're worthless and you need this savior, and then you're told by all the kids at school and then, everything that you're like, I'm like, can somebody tell me I'm not worthless, please?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
And so I had a buddy who went through the same thing and was like, hey, go talk to this guy. Go talk to this guy. His name's Michael. He's in, I don't know. I'll even put the link. I'll give you the link that you could put in the show notes if people want to reach out to him, because it's funny because I'm like, wow, I'm paying $150 an hour for a friend.
Yeah.
Like,
yes, it does feel like that, doesn't it? Yeah, man.
But like the last time we met, it was like, I love you, bro. Like hugs.
Yeah.
And and we sit there and
you're in person then? You're doing because I do it over like a Zoom call, just like this.
No, we're in person. And,
good for you.
And it's one of those things. He's a couple years older than me. but we'll both kind of go back and forth having these moments where like, you know, I'll say something. I remember saying something to him like, it's really hard to love the people you blame.
Yeah.
And he was like, yo, that's going on my Instagram, right? Like for him, it was like, and so we'll have those, we'll kind of dig deep. Like even if he's like, oh, I would like maybe look at something from this perspective, right? Like, I'm trying to think exactly about like, oh, I remember I was just like, I was having one of those moments where I was in a place of lack, right? And the things I was wanting could or desiring whatever would potentially be something kind of destructive, right? And I'm going to speak vaguely just because I don't want to get too. And he was
then I'm
like,
going to start charging you.
He was like, right. But then he was like, but why not just act on that? Why not? And I'm like, because the wake of destruction that could potentially happen from something like that would be, I don't know if that's worth it to me. Right. And am I going to be the hero or the villain? And how do things play out? You know,
dude, no kidding.
There's more to than just acting like you. And because my point of bringing it up with him, it wasn't that I wasn't getting something that I wanted, is that I was sitting in a place of lack instead of abundance and gratitude.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's the place to be. And when I'm in that place, I don't think about the past, you know? And when I
there's
think about
too much happening, you realize how much is happening right in front of you and all around you. Yes. Like you're actually too busy suddenly.
Yeah. And we haven't even got to the good stuff yet, baby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see my eyebrow piercing, but last week
I saw on Twitter, man. Yeah, dude.
So last week was the most revenue I've ever brought in a week with content.
Yes, dude. That's awesome.
And it's got me pumped, right? Super excited.
Yeah.
Was the next week just as good? No. Am I worried about it? Not at all.
But you get a little spark of belief, man. Isn't that everything? Yeah. Like that little confidence, that little like, oh snap, maybe there's something here. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my little totem to that week. You know?
Oh,
what I mean?
that's like, so cool. Yeah, man. So that the eyebrows signifies that. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Because there were some mods in my chat that were like, yo, I'm getting my nose, or two of them got their nose.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm like, well, what should I get? And they were like, well, you got to get your left eyebrow because it's symmetrical with your lip ring. And I was like, yeah, all right, done.
You know, it's funny because when I saw that you did that, I was like, you didn't have that done already? Like I could have sworn you had one already.
Right? I don't think, I think even family members were like, oh, is that new?
I know. I'm like, I could have sworn he had that, but I don't know what I was looking at before. Like, it obviously seems that you should have done it. That was perfect. Right. Because it totally fits. Like it's been there all along.
So things get better, man.
Yeah. They definitely get better.
Well, but there's more.
Oh,
there's more. So I
love it.
Monday night, I streamed on TikTok, and I play this DS game called One.
I didn't even know you could stream on TikTok. This goes back to every time I talk to you, I'm just like, you told me to get on Clubhouse. Like last time, I'm like, I don't know what that is. You're like, oh, Sean, like, what are you doing? Like TikTok was the time before that. There's always something new that I'm falling behind on when I talk to you. I love it, man.
So I'm on TikTok. I'm streaming a DS. Okay. Now, mind you,
amazing.
Okay. This is going to take a little bit. There's a little bit here to unpack.
I got time.
Okay.
I got time.
So Monday through Friday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm live on TikTok racing Mario Kart.
Yep.
I do the tournament with a code, and Sean, I've had up to 377 racers.
Oh my God, that is awesome.
Right? Within the week. I'm not saying in a single setting, but like through the week.
Scores recorded for the tournament.
Almost 400 people racing. Okay?
Yeah, man.
Again, celebrate. But my numbers sit at around like anywhere from like, I'll sit at 200. They'll spike. I'll go to 600 viewers. And then they'll sit around anywhere between 80 and 200 viewers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if I do these wanted streams that I started in December, Sean, in one stream, I had 150,000 people come through and had 2,000 viewers at one time.
What? What's a wanted stream? What's that?
Okay, so Wanted is the mini game that was on the DS on 64, Mario 64, New Super Mario Bros. And Mario Party. Remember the Rec Room, the little mini games where you could do Luigi's Poker?
This is so specific. Holy crap.
So Luigi's Poker and all that stuff. Well, there's one where it would show a face like Wario, Mario, Luigi, or Yoshi, and then you'd have to pick it out like a Where's Waldo style.
Yeah.
Right? And you just click it and go. Click it and go. Well, I took the game as far as the game stops at 9,999. You can't go any higher than that. They didn't program. It's just, they didn't plan on anybody doing that. Right. So, but I literally, bro, here's my tripod. And if you guys aren't watching, I'm holding up a little mini tripod. I have all this gear, all these nice cameras, and I'm streaming with my phone pointed at the screen of my DS, right? And prior to this week, I would then point my phone at my OBS so that I could use my gear minus my microphone, turn on my studio monitors so that game audio would come through. And I would open up chat from the TikTok live on my desktop and stream that way so that it looked more like a legit stream, right? Like you got to get creative, baby. So
no kidding. Holy crap.
So Wanted brings the numbers and the new followers, and Mario Kart builds the community.
Yeah.
So Monday night, I'm streaming Wanted. I get an email right after from TikTok. We need to talk about your goals as a
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm not kidding you.
I love it. You got an email from TikTok? That's huge, dude.
From TikTok. So, had a meeting. I am now working with TikTok in their live streaming platform. That's all I can say because of NDA.
Oh.
That's it. That's it.
Did you even know that this was a thing that they do? Like, I didn't even know that was like a possibility. So you're probably already flying high on just the fact that you just had that stream and how it went. That was good enough. That probably would have been a nice lift up moment.
It wasn't even that 2,000 views, 100. That was in December. That wasn't even this stream. This was just, this was just your average. I mean, average. I think I said on 600 viewers the whole time.
That's awesome, dude.
So, I mean, yeah, incredible.
Yeah. Incredible. And you've always been really willing to just like try whatever. I give you a huge amount of credit on that, because a lot of us, and myself included, we kind of just like settle in on a thing. Like, I don't know that I would leave Twitch. I don't know that I would try going somewhere else. And there's something there on but it's unknown on TikTok. Like, I don't think that they have, I don't know, maybe there is, and I just don't know, but I don't feel like there's the same sort of like what Twitch has for streaming. Like, do you have subscribers? Do you have can people donate to you? Like, is it the same kind of monetization model? Like, how does it work over there?
So there's no subscribers. They can donate with, they definitely can donate. I mean, that part of that best week, I had one TikTok stream where I made $250.
That's awesome, dude. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Immediately in my account. I don't have to wait for a payout. I can download that.
It's like a PayPal or Venmo or something like that. Just a direct. Yeah. That's the best way to do it, actually. It's actually amazing how much Twitch takes, from
TikTok takes a lot.
Oh, I know. And they all do. And I'm sure YouTube is the same, but like a direct donation, those links, like when streamers have like the donate please, it's like, they get everything. Like, the streamer gets all of that rather than a half and half cut.
Let me clarify. This isn't my link. This is people buying coins on TikTok and then donating those.
So they can do that too. Okay.
Through the app, and then I go to my balance on TikTok and can pull it to PayPal immediately.
Oh, I see. And the direct part is because on Twitch you have to wait until whatever it is, the
1 month,
part of
once
the
a month. Yeah. So,
wow.
So have this meeting.
Yeah.
Right. And he's talking about this ground floor stuff. And I'm like, what's the team like? Are you guys still building it? He's like, actually, we are. Here's a link. I will give you a referral right now because I like your vibe so much.
Nice.
I'm like, is that remote? He's like, you'd have to move to LA. I'm like, well, I mean,
just down the road. Like, come on.
You know, let's. Yeah.
Are you gonna move to LA?
I gotta get through I gotta apply first and all that stuff. But then I
are
can't
you
live
open to
stream
it?
on TikTok. Like if I get the job, I can't live stream.
Oh my God, what a choice.
Right. And so it's like, do I stay on the ground floor with everything I know and everything I've learned over the last 13 years in content creation to be on the biggest social media platform in the world right now?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Or do I go try to help build it to give to make it something for creators, you know?
Do you feel like the choice is like an artist versus a corporate kind of gig? Like,
in a sense. And I also am not like, I just want to go knock on the door and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know? So
I know you're always so open to really anything. So I know that you haven't made your decision one way or another, but you're just like taking it all in every moment. Oh my gosh, dude. I love it. You do, like, I feel like every time you talk to somebody, they're like trying to give you a job. It's like,
but bro, 2 years before that, I was always in a place of lack. And I feel like when you talk to people from that place, they can pick up on it.
They can totally. Yeah. And they might not exactly specify, but they're like, there's something. Something here.
This guy's a needy,
something off.
You know, like,
yeah.
Whereas like now I'm just like, I don't, you know, okay. Sean, speaking of the best week, I had an esports startup reach out to me and they're like,
gosh.
And so they're like, hey, I don't even know if you'll see this. You know, I'm like, yeah, I'll start chatting with you on Twitter or whatever. Like we just jumped in the DMs because I've sold info products. And they're trying to make a platform that will do that kind of stuff to a certain extent. And so they're like, can we jump in a call? I was like, yeah, it's $100 an hour. And they were like, okay, we'll do 15 minutes. I'm like, perfect.
Well, good for you for stating your.
We did 15 minutes. They're like, okay, we're going to need to. The guy was like, I wish my CEO was here. Like, I'm like, by the time we were done, there's talks of like helping them get a podcast launched. Like, so many more opportunities, bro. So many more. And
it's
I'm
infectious, man. It really is. Once you get rolling, it's like, well, like, why stop?
Yeah.
You know? So how do you reconcile this with the whole, like, because a lot of great things are happening for you. How do you reconcile it with, like, and how do you keep it in check now that you've kind of realized and recognized that there was a connection between your happiness and achievement?
I don't look at myself that much. I look at the self-love and I go, my hope is that this level of self-love is what people could see and then have for themselves. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Cause then the rest is the benefit of that rather than the, like, it's about an ordering of things. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it is like you get a perk of loving yourself first, then good things happen rather than having the good things happen first so that you can feel good about yourself.
Right.
And that order, like, it might seem semantical, but I feel like it's hugely important to know what you want first and all the good stuff will come from it. Instead of, you got to be chasing the right thing, I think.
And I mean, you're talking to a guy that used to look at his reflection in the mirror and just like loathe it. Like, like let himself know how much he hated himself to where like I smile at myself now.
Good for you, man.
Know?
You should.
Like,
you should.
I got to sit in therapy and say, I'm okay.
Yeah.
It was like the first time I said that and meant it.
There you go. Yeah.
You
Not
know?
tricking yourself. You're like, no, that sounded true.
And I feel like I'm okay isn't like, hey, look at me. It's like, no, I'm okay to love.
Yeah.
You know? And so I'm going to love myself.
Yeah, man.
And I'm going to try to shower that love on others. You know, you were talking early on about the people around us and encouragement. Bro, my favorite thing to do at the gym, whether young, old, overweight, fit, whatever, is to get a fist bump and tell people to crush it.
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Because there's people in there, like, and the other day, I was like, I bet you this guy's 80 years old. I put my fist out and I think he was receiving the first fist bump he'd ever gotten. Right.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. And I was like, man, I hope you crush it. And he was like, you know what? Go gung ho. That's what he told me. Like, he didn't
no
even
way.
That's what he told me. Go gung ho. And I was like, I love this man. And then the next day he was there and we talked for a while. He's like, I'm 80 years old and my goal is to do unassisted pull-ups or I'm 79. I got 4 months and I'm going to try to do unassisted pull-ups before I hit 80.
Dude, I love it, man. That's all. And, the gym is a really interesting place, too, because it is a full mix of young people who you're like, oh, I was there once. And, these kids are just crushing. They're better shape than ever. And you got the older people as well that kind of give you a bit of a preview of like what's coming. Like it's whether you like it or not, like that's coming. And I look at it and it inspires me big time to see these 70, 80-year-old people just like getting it on, man. They're crushing it in there. So it's like, okay, I'm going to try and be there too when I'm that age. I want to do a pull up when I'm 80. Why not? Like, speaking of moonshots, like, yeah, man, go for it. Yeah. Absolutely get it.
Well, and
I saw a guy at the gym. He was putting on his braces. He had he had knee braces that he just got, and he was telling all his friends about how life-changing these knee braces were and how he hadn't taken a walk without extreme pain in his knees for 15 years. And I'm like, dude, in that moment, I wasn't even part of the conversation. I wasn't really trying to overhear it all, but I'm like, that was a moment of gratitude for me to go, I haven't even had to think about that. Like problems with knees or shoulders or anything like that. Like I've been whining and complaining from here on out and all these things. But I'm like, I haven't had to worry about my knees like at all. And this guy is just like, I just want to have no pain. I don't care. And my first thought, even before he started talking, he bust these knee braces out. And I was thinking, those look so cumbersome. What a pain in the ass. And he's like, what a gift.
Yeah.
What a gift. And like total mind shift for me, man.
Yep.
And I just, every step I'm taking, I'm like, I feel, thank goodness I don't have to wear these braces. Like, thank God I'm not having to be grateful or waiting for these, like something like that to make things okay.
Yeah.
So it's, living in that moment, dude, it changed everything. I'm going to remember that conversation for a long, long time.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, of course. And I told this trainer about this guy that I gave the fist bump to, and he was like, a lot of these people that are elderly, they're afraid to be here because
I was thinking, that's exactly what I was thinking when you said that. Definitely.
And as soon as he said that, I was like, every one of them, I'm going to make sure, because I remember stepping into the gym, like after the car accident and stuff where I'd put 50 pounds back on and wearing my t-shirt, wearing my hood, basically just trying to hide in my own skin.
Yep.
Like embarrassed to do. I'm not really embarrassed because I don't need to get embarrassed, but like, just kind of like, here I am doing squats and I'm not about ego when I'm lifting. I'm about like correct form and everything.
Yeah.
And so, and so that I saw that guy, I saw myself from 6 months ago walk in today, and bro, people light up. They light up, and this is not to toot my own horn. This is to tell, like, this is to like, just to spread good gym culture, just like, just to make people feel like they're welcome and that it's so crazy. Just a little fist bump and that, you're crushing it. Or you're like, I was doing sit-ups and so I
like how you actually kind of did a sit up there. I don't know if anybody ever heard the way that you kind of went away from the microphone.
Yeah. So
I know what a sit up is. I know I don't look like it, but I know what a sit up is.
Well, I literally put myself in the moment.
I know, it's so good. I wanted to, I'm sorry.
So no, it's totally fine. I love it. So my warm up is 30 pull-ups, 30 dips, and 30 sit-ups.
Your warm up is that? Hang on, I got to write that down. I gotta get on this train. You do what? Your warm up is what?
30 pull-ups.
Good God.
Now, I'm again, no ego. They're assisted. I used to have to use 140 pounds. This week I got to where I had 70 pounds with my pull-ups. I can do dips unassisted, but
okay, 30 pull-ups because I want to do this. I want a better warm up. I want to do better warm up.
So, and I use the machine where you do the 3 different grips. So I do like the pull-up, the chin-up, and then like our machine has 3 different grips. So I just do I do 10 of each. Right.
Yeah.
And if I can't get 10, I go till failure. And then I do the next, if I get to 7, then I do the other 3. And then I do 10 dips, and I do them assisted just because I'm right there and it's fine. And then I run over to the decline bench and I do 30 sit-ups. So I'm doing my pull-ups and this, I hop down and this gal walks by and it's like she was cold as ice. like cold as ice, but she had a Mario shirt, and I'm like, how can I not say something?
I know you're like, right? I know I'm at a gym, and there's this whole thing that I don't know, maybe etiquette. I don't know. Yeah.
So cold as ice, no eye contact, but I see Mario. I'm like, I'm doing my sit-ups as she's getting ready to leave, and I pulled my headphone out and I said, "Hey, awesome shirt."
Yeah, man.
Like a Christmas tree, she lit up. Like, it was like almost like nerd affirmation or something.
Yes, exactly.
Like
it's like the one thing like you can actually do. Like some people want to be like, like the cool shirt is such a great thing. I've got a Sea of Thieves backpack around here, and every once in a while I'll get someone to go like, "Cool backpack, man." I'm like, "Oh, that's the best." I hate Sea of Thieves, but that's such a cool thing for you to say, dude. I only got this because they gave it away at FanFest, but I loved it, and I love the backpack, and I think it's rad as hell. But it is a cool thing. I don't get it. I wear like I've got a Super Mario hoodie on now. Like I don't get it often, but I get it all the time with that backpack, man, and it is cool. You just like little nod, just like. I see you. Like we got our own like secret club. We're not so secret on the internet, but like in person, we're like stonecutters out there. Got a little. Like, I see you. Yeah. I see you out there.
Well, and it was like a collared, like collar with like not full button up, but just like the 3-button, like a polo shirt. But then it had Mario graphic on the front.
Oh, like, that is cool.
It was like very unique and like not something I had even seen before. So I was like, I have to say something. So
I love it.
But I the other factor there, like getting those fist bumps and stuff, is I feel like it gives people a level of like security almost, because a lot of them are looking over their shoulders and that kind of stuff. And it's just like, feel safe and work out. You know what I mean?
That is it, man. That keeps a lot of people away from the gym, unfortunately. And I feel like it's such an important part of when it is part of my life. I feel like it's an important part. And were you working out at home before? Like, how were you doing before, like when everything was shut down? Cause like, I kind of just realized that the gyms have been shut down for 2 years. It's like, oh yeah, we can go back now. We're returning to things. I just gotten so used to trying to work out from home that I forgot why I was doing it. And it's like, oh yeah, I couldn't actually have a membership anywhere. That's why I've been trying to do it here. And it didn't really work out. And I treat it as a treat, honestly. Yeah. It's like, I get to go to that different place because I'm always here. Right. So, and also the rec center I go to is got an amazing gym in the upper floor, and then they've got a pool and a hot tub down there. So I'm like, I'm gonna go soak for 5-10 minutes, and that'll be my that gets me out of bed. That wakes me up at 5 a.m. Or it has this week, anyways. I'm just like, I'm officially. You saw that. Like this is all the wristbands I've got. I've got 4, but it's worked so far. Like week 1, man.
Hell yes, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's funny that we're talking to each other now, and like this is kind of what's on your mind, because it's been, and I haven't really been talking about it too much because I feel like I've started on a fitness journey. I don't know how many times. So I'm like, I feel pretty good about this. I've got my at least 1 month, that I've signed up for. So I want to kind of get the most of it, and I've worked out how it's going to balance with like life and family. And to be honest with you, like I'm prioritizing that and sleep over almost anything else.
Same.
Like that's, and I kind of wanted to ask you as you've been going through this, like there's trade-offs everywhere.
Yep.
And I definitely find when I'm all in on games and weight goes up, mood goes down, and I feel I'm really trying to adjust for that. But I'm not going to get through as many games. And I feel I wasn't getting through as many games before anyways. So I've kind of taken this new attitude of, well, if I'm not going to get through all the games, I might as well do something productive with my time and start to chip away at this 2-year sedentary life that I've had. And I actually enjoy working out. Like, I feel like maybe we're lucky for that, because I definitely have talked to people who hate it. Like they absolutely can't stand it. And for, I don't know how many reasons, if they don't like the physical exertion, if they don't like being at the gym for all the reasons we just talked about, but for whatever reason, some people just don't like it. I love it. I love being there, but I do find myself in that self-conscious space because I'm not where I want to be. But I mean, at the same time, I'm like, I'm really trying to be kind to myself, because why are we all there? We're all trying to improve. Like if we were happy with where we're at, we'd just like sit at home and we sit on a beach somewhere. Just go like, look at me. We're all trying to get better, all trying to improve a little bit and do whatever goals we have. So that's a lot of thinking and a lot of overthinking to get to the gym. But whatever, man, I'm in the right space when I get there. And I've got a little reward for myself, and I smell like chlorine right now because I've still got the hot tub kind of on my, like I got home like a half an hour before we started chatting.
Oh,
like I messaged you. I'm like, we got 25 minutes. I'm like, that's when I walked in the door. So it's like, that's just where like the days are full, man. There's lots to do. It's lots to get after it.
Yeah. And I really only game when I'm streaming.
Yeah.
You know, I'll do a little bit of hate. Like I'm still grinding away on Infinite, and I'm I want to get Lasso done. So I have like that. You have to at least have the tank guns at a save place, like a save point. And then once the update happens, you can still finish that achievement. Yeah. So I'm going to be going crazy this weekend trying to get it done. But
I love it.
I'm not gaming, man. I'm not, I work until I fall asleep pretty much with the shows and I mean, you know, I mentioned your vibe brings your tribe, dude. I've had all these new mods and all these crazy relationships have been forming within my community. And some people left, some people were like, yeah, this is, you know, it's not for me, but like, it's been so incredible just getting to know new people and building new community. But yeah, it really, I haven't been drinking. I haven't been drinking in like, I mean, over a month. Yeah. Over a month because I'm just trying to remove anything that I don't feel like that serves me. Right. I didn't have a drinking problem. I love whiskey. I love collecting whiskey, but I just don't need it. Like it doesn't need to be there. And I've also like, I keep seeing videos that it hinders weight loss, not just from the calories in, but that like, as your body is detoxing from that stuff, it makes weight loss more difficult. I don't know if it's true, but I'm like,
I mean, it's gotta make sense though. It makes sense. It's like, how far away from water, chicken, and rice is whiskey? You know what I mean? Like it's So, but I mean, everything in moderation, but I struggle a little bit with moderation, to be honest with you. Like I deal a little bit easier when I'm like, the rules are black and white. Like I'm going to be eating from these hours to these hours. And this is what I'm allowed to eat. When I'm like, when there's a little bit of gray, I will push that as far as I possibly can to the point where it's a slippery slope. And I just, to your point, like I end up doing things or eating things or drinking things that don't really serve me. Like people make fun of me all the time for the Diet Coke. And it's like, dude, it's not the Diet Coke.
Drink
like, it's all the other, and maybe the Diet Coke, maybe the argument could be like I drink Diet Coke and that leads to cravings for whatever else. But I don't know. I don't think that I buy that. But I like, as I look at like a cake and I go like, I'll have 2 pieces. I don't need 2 pieces of cake. Like people just see that I drink Diet Coke. That's all they really see. Like I'm a pretty open book and transparent about stuff, but I'm not posting what I eat all the time. Although maybe I should, because then I'd keep track of it and get that under control. But that's really the issue, man. For me, anyways.
TikTok. I feel like I learned so much. And again, I always say learning. I always use the term a little bit loosely because like you never know, like in today's world, we really don't know. We have more information than ever before and we really don't know anything. You know what I mean?
Right?
Like,
I know.
But I've seen this doctor multiple times on there who does nothing but refute other people's, and his thing on diet soda, he's like, there's like 26 peer reviewed studies on how they, you know, it's better for you because of the lack of calories than the sugar soda.
How else can you really look at it is my kind of point of view. And I know we're probably just going to like, people are fired up. They're like, absolutely not. And probably the best answer is probably no soda. Like that's probably, like I should just have like that's probably it. But you know what? I don't drink. I don't smoke. There's absolutely no black tar heroin in my routine at all. I'm having some damn and probably too much Diet Coke from McDonald's.
I have a bag.
Sakes.
I have a bag of Diet Dr. Pepper.
I thought you were going to say a bag of black tar heroin.
Yeah, a bag of black tar heroin right here. No, but the other
cheat day. That's your cheat day.
That's cheat day is heroin. Yeah, a little bit of cocaine maybe.
Just a little crack.
Something to keep me awake. But the other thing he talked about with diet soda, he goes, there's been studies they've started doing now where they had group A only drink soda, diet soda, and group A only drink water. And like their insulin levels and everything were virtually the same. Yeah. I'm not saying there's not garbage in soda. It's chemicals. Totally. Right? Like there's no way around it. But if me having a soda like curbs all those cravings for me, like, and it's not going to be the same for everybody. Like that's the other thing. Like I will never tell somebody, yes, you should drink diet soda.
Totally.
I will put the information out there that I'm taking in. and I'm watching my weight go down. I'm down 20 like 23 pounds since the first of the year. I'm also eating whatever I want, just in an intermittent fasted state. So
good for you.
Like, there's no like, oh, carbs are bad or anything like that. Like, because I worry about that being like an eating disorder, and so like I'm now I talked with a guy all day today, or not all day, but for a while at the gym. He's nothing but carnivore. He's like, I just eat meat and eggs, and I'm like,
doesn't that sound awesome though?
It sounds so awesome, bro. I'm just like,
no, I want a tomahawk steak for breakfast, dude.
Yes,
and throw an egg on top of that. Yeah, man.
But because when it comes,
I'm so glad you said that. I'm like, I really put myself out there, but like, I think this sounds good. I thought you were gonna say that sounds awful. I'm like, oh
no, dude.
I guess we disagreed.
I've thought about doing it many times. Like,
it's a family thing though too. Do you find that it's challenging getting your eating in order with like family and stuff, or are your kids kind of old enough that it's not really a thing?
It's not really a thing, but we've
like, are you on your own for what you eat? Because I feel like I eat whatever's at the table and whatever's around, and it's awful. Like, I got kid stuff all over the place and leftovers, and that's been a challenge for me.
This would be great. I hope maybe this will help you. Yeah, are you familiar with birria tacos or birria tacos?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, so it was a big thing on TikTok again, where it's like you basically make this broth that the meat cooks in until it falls apart. Then you pull the meat out and you take out some of the peppers and seasonings that you did. You blend those and then strain them back into this broth. And then you pull the meat aside, let the broth simmer, take corn tortilla shells, dip them in the broth, put them in a frying pan, put Chihuahua cheese, that meat, a little cilantro, a little onion, fold that over. And then you take some of that broth into a bowl, do your lime and your hot sauce on your taco, put a little cilantro and onion in that broth, dip those things in there, man. And it is delicious. Now, the initial sticker shock of meat is like, okay, it's like the prices have gone up right now. Right. But we were going and getting 3, like if we got 4 servings, they were $12.50 a piece for 12 meals, or I'm sorry, for 4 meals was $12.50 a piece. Yeah. And so it was like, well, that's $50. And we spent $50 on meat and ate that 4 times or more, with everybody really enjoying this food, and because we only got the 2 girls left at home. Yeah. And so we're looking for things like that. Tonight I'm making fish tacos. I'm just going to use tilapia that we got from Costco, and
that's our go-to. That's that is my number one meal. Like when Chelsea and I, before Lincoln was born, we were on Weight Watchers, and that was like the go-to meal. I'm like, I could eat and I don't need a lot of variety. Like, I'm very simple, honestly, to the fact that I drink Diet Coke all the time. Like, I don't even need different drinks, man. I will eat and drink the same thing every time, especially if there's like a benefit there. Fish tacos, man. And exactly the same ingredients. Look at that. Tilapia we probably had the exact same thing at the same time, just like on Armageddon.
Yeah, possibly. Mm-hmm. So the thing is just finding meals that they like that we can prep. Yeah. That everybody eats, it's, but yeah, it's not, we don't buy a lot of the garbage, like processed stuff. It just, I'm not about it,
Well, I commend you for it, because I think it is challenging. It, like, you can decide, you want to get things in order and you want to get your eating back on track, but like, you live with other people, like it's not even just like a decision just for yourself. Like, you actually get to, that decision impacts more than just you. Yeah. So there has to be some sort of conversation that happens, I guess, maybe, or do they just like, are they even part of it? It's just like, this is what's on the menu now.
They get their own food, right? So if we keep things in the house, like hash browns and sausage patties, they're they love that kind of stuff. They'll throw it in the oven. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's not the mac and cheese or pizza rolls or just it's at least as close to real food. Either came out of the ground or had a face at one point.
Yeah. I think that's the thing that is probably the key to what you're talking about here. And maybe I've got to kind of recenter myself on how I think about it, where I go like, honestly, I could have chicken, rice, and salsa all the time. Yeah. That and like fish tacos. I don't think anybody else would join me on that food journey. So that's the part that I think that I struggle with the most is like, I would be perfectly fine if I just like, if I meal prepped on Sunday, put everything in a Ziploc container, I'm just like, I'll heat it up when it's time to eat that thing. But that's just me. And it's I feel like it's almost like selfish in a way, because then then the kids and the family sit down for dinner and like dad's having his plain chicken with salt and pepper or whatever, and everybody else is having whatever they're having. It's like, well, what's with this weirdo? And I'm worried about what message that sends to my kids about like me being so focused on like weight and food that I have to eat something totally different from them. Like that, that situation doesn't really play out very well in my mind.
I think part of tackling that would be, in the past, I'll do 2 whole packs of chicken on my grill. And then we'll do teriyaki with just some rice and teriyaki sauce, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever you do with chicken, right? Whatever you're into. But the other thing is, I guarantee that, especially with younger kids, you go to Costco and you get a pack of frozen burger patties and you cook all those up on a Sunday and you have patties ready to go that you can just heat up. They're going to eat burgers with you. Right? Yeah. Now, maybe you wrap yours in lettuce if you don't want the extra carbs from the bun, or maybe you use a tortilla or do like a Crunch Wrap Supreme or something like that. You know what I mean? But like, but there's ways you can look at it that it doesn't have to be you're eating the chicken, rice, and
the
salsa,
rabbit food.
You know. And I mean, but honestly, in my house, like sometimes the kids eat something totally different. If my daughter had a bad experience with smash burgers because we were cooking in a cabin and some ants she can't eat them anymore. Right. So if I make,
I'm sorry, wait a second. What happened with the smash burger? Did you say that there's ants in the smash burger?
She's pretty sure an ant or two crawled in and she could taste. So now she can't do my homemade smash burgers because of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, so it's like, it's like 3/4 of us love these things, but then one of them doesn't. Or maybe I can't remember.
Sure.
My one daughter hates nachos. I'm just like, I feel like I should put you up for adoption. Like, that's
How do you not like nachos? Oh my gosh.
I don't know. Eat quesadillas all day long. I'm like, it's just the difference between
get out of here.
Flour and corn, right? Like, you understand.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's such a gift. Like nachos, like yes, please, all day long. Yeah. All types. Do you have like a preference? What do you like on your nachos? If you make nachos, what do you throw on those things?
So, because I like to do meal prep, I'll do a pork butt.
Yeah,
and so that'll cook for like 14 to 18 hours on my Weber.
I was gonna say, how do you have time for this? Like, you're not talking like just simple meals here, man. Like when you're just like, you just take this broth and you throw in the meat and then it falls off the thing and then you just got to do. You list like 14 steps, dude. That's not simple at all.
Yeah, but that meal takes an hour to make, tops.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, that's a lot of time.
it is when you're used to putting a TV dinner in or something. And I'm not saying that's what you do, but you know what? Like 2 minutes to 60, sure. But there's you get to touch food and you get to.
That is really what I need to do in life, is just like enhance my relationship with food and prepping food. Yeah. And just enjoy it, because if it's going to be a chore, then of course like 5 minutes is going to feel like an eternity, and that leads you down like that. When I say it's like, it's not the Diet Coke, it's things like that where I go like, I don't want to spend all that time prepping the food, but like I should. Like there's a good thing that comes out of it. I'm very jealous of like people who can, like, do you smoke your meat? Like, do you have a smoker?
So getting back to the pork butt, I take charcoal. There it is. I take charcoal and I make a snake around the outside that's too wide and too tall, all the way around. And I put hickory, apple, whatever wood I want throughout that. And there's one pile, like a smaller pile at the start. That's what gets the lighter fluid, and I light that. And then I know exactly where to put my damper. I put my meat in with a tray underneath, and that thing will cook. I can set it and forget it. The last time I cooked it, I forgot to go check it. I came back out. It had a beautiful bark. I'll finish it off in the oven just to get it past its little stall point of like, to get it to right around 203, I think is when all the collagens break down, and you can basically shred the pork, and the bone will pull right out.
Holy. So you need a channel on this. You need more content on this, dude.
I think I've made what I just talked about on my TikTok going through the process. I've thought about doing a cookbook of just like meal prep stuff and stuff that like, because we've always found if we don't have meals ready, we'll just go out. And so you're probably not getting
big time.
And then if you're going out, if you don't want to spend too much, you're getting garbage. And then if you know, and then either your innards suffer or your wallet suffers if you want to get something that's not crap. And so I've just, this is just kind of, but so the nachos I like to do a layer of chips, layer of cheese, and then, you know, veggies of your choice. Got to have some jalapeno, got to have some, you know, maybe some bell peppers, maybe some onions, you know, sometimes olives, I guess. It just depends what you're into.
Olives are required. Yeah, man.
Like pepperoncinis are even good. So that'll all go down with meat. And then I'll put a little Sweet Baby Ray's with that barbecue, with that smoked pork, right?
Yeah.
And then for me, it's a nostalgia thing with nachos, because when I was a kid, every Saturday was either nachos or pizza and Star Trek. We would, that's
awesome.
That's what we would do as a kid. And so, but it was usually like Napoleon Dynamite nachos, where it was just chips and cheese. Like that was, and so because of that, I will put another layer of chips over the top of everything, and then cheese, because it takes me back to those Saturday nights. So, and then I love making salsa. I just do blender salsa, where it's just can of tomatoes, cilantro, onions, jalapeno, pulse that Vitamix, you know, pour it into the bowl, put the other can of tomatoes, it's the big can, lime, lemon, and maybe a little cumin and salt to taste. And you've literally got salsa, like fresh salsa in less than 5 minutes. You know, if you want to get fancy,
I need this in my life, man. That's awesome.
Dude, if you want to get fancy, take those pieces before you put them in the blender and put them in the broiler and put a nice little char on them. And then you can peel some of the jalapeno or whatever, but then just throw it in and you're
you need a channel. Like I need this like just connected into my veins. Like you're just listing it off like, you know, like you've obviously done it a gazillion times before. Right. I'd be like, okay, step 1. Okay. Get the jalapenos out of the closet, out of wherever they are. I don't know.
The fridge.
Why in the closet? Man, that's awesome. You need a channel for this. There's a whole other pillar of social content that you can create for the world. I love it, man. Look at all the things you got to offer this world, dude. Hey, it's awesome.
I appreciate it.
I love it. What's going on with Boom? Talk to me about Boom.
Boom. So I started the Xbox Now show, right? And I was doing that for a little bit, and then it was just too much. I was just like, I'm butter spread over too much bread. I just have to let's double down and focus on the stuff that's working, and maybe not chase a trend right now, you know? Yep. So I stopped, and but in the process met a lot of really cool people. Mav, I already knew Lady from the Destiny community, and I
gotta have her on, by the way. Please. I would love to have her on the show. Yeah, man.
Yes.
I gotta reach out to her.
Oh, yes. She is.
Yeah, I think she's good stuff.
Gem, like an absolute gem. So, so she introduced me to the Fun Speculation podcast, all those guys. And
it's awesome. That's such a great name, dude. It's one of the best names for a podcast. I love that.
Yeah, it's so good. And so, we did some collabing, you know, back and forth. And then I was introduced to Boom. I honestly, it's all kind of a blur. A lot of stuff was happening so fast at that point that I don't really remember, but eventually I ended up on Boom's show when he was doing a Tuesday and a Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
And then he said, "Hey guys, I'm going to drop the Thursday show." And I was just like, all right, well, if you ever need a fill-in, I'm here. And
you would say that. That is, man, you totally would. Yeah, I think you've said that to me before. Like, hey, if you want somebody else to interview somebody else for this show, I do that too. Yeah. I really do feel like I could call you up and go hey man, I don't have a show. Not only do I not have a guest, but I don't have anybody else. I feel like you could actually do this. For me, I feel like you would just go hit somebody up and go here you go, here's a show for you. You really are that. You don't do it for anything in return. So that's very sweet that you just, like I say, it's just, that is what you would do in that situation for him. I love it.
And then 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, he was like, "Hey, I had people's work schedules not work out. Can you be a regular, you know, on Tuesday mornings, and I'm like, I'm there.
I love it.
My schedule allows for it, and and then he started bringing in more guests. The panels got bigger, and I'm like, yo, boom, if you need me to back down, or whatever, like be the fill-in. He's like, no, you matter. You're gonna be on the show. I was like, all right, brother. Like I'm it's content first, right? You know what I mean? Or is like it's not about me. It's not. But I love it on there, and I mean, I don't play a ton of Xbox. I will own Game Pass. I said it on this week's show. I will own Game Pass until it's no longer a thing, and I've had it since day one, and I've used it very little. I pretty much play Halo, but
the free multiplayer game that they released. Nobody remembers that game is free, dude.
Right.
It's amazing. It's like the greatest trick that they ever played on us. They give us this Game Pass, they give us Halo, and they like, you could get it for free, but
right. I still pay for Game Pass to play the free game. Yeah,
that's right.
And yeah. So, but they talk a lot of business and the business side of gaming and stuff, which I'm all about. I mean, that's what I work for a company that is all about helping game makers make games faster. That's literally what we do. So I love the business side of it. I love the way it's evolving and changing.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I don't always love it, but I don't know. I love the Game Pass model. I love that it's creator first. It's how do devs, possibly get a second game because Game Pass kept it alive, or, more people tried it and then word of mouth spread and then more people bought it on. I wonder how often that happens where somebody's buddy who plays on Xbox is like, yo, I just played this on Game Pass. It's really worth checking out. And then they go buy it on their PS5, different indie games and stuff. That has to take place. I mean,
I think they have talked about that, how games, whether they're, games that are on Game Pass just sell well everywhere. I actually think that has something to do with even Xbox's own games on Steam. Right. There's all this word of mouth about Forza Horizon 5. People are playing it all over here, and then it's number one or not top 5 or whatever it is, and in Steam, it's got to be part of it, and just the focus on having people play the games. That's what else? Where else are you gonna start in terms of generating excitement? Get that game in as many people's hands as possible, and it's the same as Rocket League. I feel is the thing that just kickstarted all this stuff.
Yep.
You it wasn't a free to play game back then, but you got to play it for free from PlayStation. How many of us started with PS Plus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Back then, of course, now we all know of it as a free to play game. Although some people I think forget. Some of us are so old and we remember buying it. I bought it on every system. I could have.
Same.
Every single one. I love Rocket League. But
I love hearing Mario jump when I get to play as the Mario
Kart. Oh my gosh, on Switch. Yeah, dude.
But nobody else sees it. Once I found that out, I was like, I just look like a plain old car. So.
Oh, that's right. It wouldn't show up. They wouldn't have a Mario up here just because because it's the crossplay and oh, that's interesting.
You just look like a standard car or whatever. So,
are you good at Rocket League? Because I'm medium at best, especially when you think about the spectrum of skill.
No,
on Rocket League.
I can crack a lot of good jokes while I'm playing.
Yeah,
just to keep the entertainment factor going. But
it's a good time.
It's I would you want to play Smash? Sure. I'll hold my own there. But or Mario Kart, of course, but there's too many, I don't know. There's just too many games to try to get good at to get good at too many of them. It's if I play casually, then sure. I play totally casually, but
I'm not exactly flying through the sky and adjusting my flight trajectory, mid-flight, dude. I'm going up in whatever direction I took off on. That's it. I'll just go higher. That's basically it. I'm not turning lefts, 20 meters in the sky. It's not going to happen. So Boom has happened for you. You got this TikTok thing happening for you. You got Beamable which was a couple months ago as well. I want to so when that was offered to you, you mentioned that you could have that could have taken a turn maybe for the worse or something, but you realized that this was a positive thing, but it did, you went, well, I've got all you had the achievement, but you were still kind of lacking. Is that kind of how you described it? I wanted to come back to it only because a friend of mine was in a really dark place. I think he was thinking of life in a very similar way because he got a promotion. He got a big opportunity. This should have made him really happy for all, by all accounts. But a week later, he ended his life. God. And it was, and it didn't make any sense. It didn't make like to so many people, it didn't make any sense. But when you described that earlier, I was like, that's probably what was going on with him. He was probably like, if I can just get this thing, everything will be fixed.
Yeah.
And obviously that is not possible. You know, that's not the fix. So it's like, I don't think that I'd ever heard it like described in that way, because I'd always known that. I'd always known that he got that promotion. And I always, maybe the thing that I had thought if I was trying to guess, it was that maybe he got stressed out by that opportunity. But I actually think that what you described is more in line with probably what happened. So I really appreciate you kind of like walking me through, and I'm even more grateful that you took the turn that you did and you sought the help, because he needed that so much. And I'm glad that we're like just kind of hanging on this for a little bit, so that, because I think a lot of people go through life experiencing in very similar ways. Our self-worth, our self-value, the achievements, jobs, whatever, like it doesn't matter. Like it really, like in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. So I just wanted to kind of loop back to that for a quick second, just share that.
I've always had this feeling inside of me that I was at least, I'm here for something.
Yeah.
Right. And I hope I spoke about all of the external things that happened, you know, that are amazing, but the fire that is burning in me, I'm going to get emotional, bro. I don't get emotional. What are you doing to me here?
I'm sorry, man. It's a Diet Coke. What can I say?
Yeah, it's working, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But the fire that is burning to me to help people not have that situation.
Yes.
Right? So that they could, if one person can hear me speak and go, fuck, I can love myself. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I swore. But,
yeah.
But like, it's worth it all, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what keeps me going. That's what keeps me pushing, because I'm like, my wife was hiding my guns because she was afraid I would, you know, like it was bad. It was bad. And now that I feel healthy, I'm like, the fire that's burning in me, like, these are the things that I want to start saying in content that I'm like, I've always been, when it comes to content, when we don't have the success, we sometimes feel like we don't have the worth to give advice.
Yeah.
Right. And if we're, you know, we're
like,
not,
who are you to say?
Yeah. So whether it's streaming or motivational speaking, whatever it is, if you don't have the audience, are you valid?
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you you are.
Yeah, man.
You are valid. Right. And if you want to break it down to how am I valid? Well, if you're one step ahead of somebody that can't figure something out, you're an expert in their eyes, and they will follow you and listen to you because they want to learn. Right.
Yeah.
And if I have to pull the trigger, this is like the thing that's burning inside of me that I'm like, I want to stand in front of thousands and just be like, you matter. I end every TikTok stream with like, love yourself.
Yeah,
Get the bullshit out of your head, the negativity, the stuff that's been the lies that you've been told for your whole life, and realize that you matter, that you're okay, and that you're allowed to love yourself. You're allowed to enjoy your time here.
Mm-hmm.
It's burning in me, bro. It's burning in me, and I'm like, I gotta get it out. So here we are. Here's the start. Here's the start right here. We always
embark on a new start every time that we chat, and it's like I feel like I think you're probably on about once a year. So I really always enjoy the time that we get together, because I'm always filled with energy and inspiration, and just like I want to up and at them, like I want to go after it, you know. And I think you're right. Like, you and I are very, very similar in this way. When things are good, we want to bring people with us, but when we recognize that we've been in pain, that we want to help people avoid that or help people out of it. Like it's not even just an avoidance. I think that's maybe the another realization I've had is like that it's okay to go through it, you know. And of course, Bobby's at the top of my mind when I talk about this kind of thing. It's just like processing that was like, it was purposeful, and it continues. It's not even like it was. I shouldn't say that it was like as if it's done. Like it just continues to be very intentional and head on. And that was a choice, because it was like, well, you could just go like, that was a thing. And I just don't, there's nothing in me that even remotely thinks that that's right or will work or it's going to be positive in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, it's letting other people know, like, I don't know, when I hear from other people, when I hear from you that you're going through something and learning about how you're kind of going through it, that's helpful to me, because we don't really ever get to see this. We get to see the amazing tacos that you're making, you know what I mean? Right, like, or the amazing nachos, and that's it. But life is like obviously so much more than that. And what I hope is that people understand that no two situations, no two people are ever the same, but there's definitely lessons to be learned if you're open to applying them and thinking, okay, well, this is what Josh is saying. This is what Sean's saying. Like, how is it similar? How is it dissimilar from what I'm going through? And maybe that can be helpful. I find that to be hugely helpful anyways.
I had to learn to love my genuine self in order to be my genuine self.
Yeah.
In front of everybody else.
Yeah.
Right. And it does not have to be some level of success that defines me.
Yeah.
Or that defines anybody. And this is going to be hard for me to say, because when you bring up Bobby, he'd be so fucking proud.
Yeah. You too, man.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was thinking about him. I think it was actually just earlier today. I just had a moment where I was able to, I was actually at work, and there's this giant pedway in the hospital. It's this really long space, and you're going to be in that thing for a couple minutes. And I didn't have any headphones in. It's just this empty, and because of the pandemic, like nobody's in it. So it's just me in this big long pedway. Yeah. And I was just thinking about him, just because I wasn't distracted by anything else, and that was what was top of mind. And it wasn't that much longer than Gary Gray texts me. He's like, "Hey man, it's been a while since we chatted. Hope you're well. Just wanted to pass along what Bobby's last message was to me." And it was exactly like it's right here. It's me saying to you, "You good to go in 25 minutes," and then you right below it. Bobby saying, "I won't stop, man. Small setbacks never stop me. I'm always more focused and driven in the face of adversity. That said, thank you for being so kind. The community is mind blowing. It's unreal."
What else do you say?
Dude was so special, man.
Yeah.
Like that's not a huge reason. It's the only reason that we're here chatting with one another.
Yeah.
Bobby Pauls. It's the whole reason that Gary Gray is even chatting with me, that I even know who he is, this guy from overseas,
Yeah.
It's because Bobby just had this gravity to him, and he was driven, and he was bold in what he wanted to do, and he didn't care what people thought. He just was going to outwork everybody. Like everybody saw the same Bobby. I feel like that's the thing. He was so open with everybody, and he was so consistent. I feel like everybody got, I haven't been surprised by anybody saying of an interaction they had with Bobby Pauls. I've never been like, "Oh, you got that from him?" Like, no, he was the same. He was very special. So yeah, he's always on my mind. I think it's just interesting when I'm not distracted by music or games or creating something or whatever it is, when it's just like me in some empty space. It's like, he's there, man. And I feel like that is part of that grieving process that I think that I've chosen to take, for sure.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
We'll never forget him, dude.
No, but it really just hit me hard as we're talking about this. Like, man, I don't get to share this with him. I don't get to share these this excitement, and the reason that I'm remembering what I was thinking about when I was going down that hallway, because I have been reflecting a lot on like things have been going pretty well for some of us as well. And part of me just was like, is he actually at my back? Like, is he actually? Yeah. That's
what was going through my mind as I was like, because I felt like lighter on my feet going through. Like, it was a very, like, I don't know if I'm like describing well. It's a well lit, all glass pedway. Like, it's very heavenly.
Yeah.
It's this pathway, totally silent. The only thing you can hear is my own footsteps from my dress shoes walking down the concrete floor, echoing and everything. So I'm just hearing the beat of my own footsteps. And yeah, just definitely thinking about him. How can you not?
Yeah.
We're lucky to know him.
Hell yes. Yes, absolutely.
And I think he's at your back too, my friend.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. Like, no doubt at all. And it's like we get to carry this torch for him, you know? This took a turn, bro.
I just miss him, man. I really do. But I really appreciate you chatting with me tonight, man. I don't know where we go from here, but maybe we just kind of honor Bobby. Thank him for this.
Yeah.
Thank you for this evening. And it's good to think about him, man.
It really is.
I really feel like when we do get to celebrate him, I don't feel like there's any piece of it that is like not genuine. It's not like we're like sugarcoating Bobby or anything. You know, we got all of them. We got the encouraging Bobby. We got the he's going to give it to you straight. You know, he had a tough love angle to him, but like it's not like I ever forget that. I remember all of it. And that's like the best part. And it's well over a year, and yeah, just treasure every day, man. You know, this is where we get, if it sounds like I get preachy or whatever, it's like this, it comes from that space we were talking about. It's just like, we've gone through stuff. It feels good to get it off our chest, and hopefully it makes it okay for other people to go through it as well. The sad part is that eventually all of us will have to deal with something perhaps somewhat similar to this, whether it's a parent or a pet or a brother or sister or friend or whatever it is. I'm not super religious, but I'm like just sending everything that I possibly have to Alex Van Aken, who is on the edge of his feet, just waiting for good news with his dad. And it's just like, everybody's got something that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
It's just that's the reminder, but I'm rambling a little bit. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on the internet? Let you know that they appreciate you, my friend. Do you want to go ahead and take the turn into plugging yourself a little bit, Josh?
I'm N64Josh everywhere. And yeah, I've had a story on my heart to tell. My story of content creation, and you've let me start to tell that story here, and I appreciate it. And
you're welcome back anytime, my friend.
Yeah, it's always like I always feel refreshed when I'm.
Me too.
When I'm here chatting with you, you know, and my community is going to be like, I thought you said you'd never cried, so, yeah, the tough guy persona is gone, I guess. Darn it.
That is ultimately the goal of the show, is just to, all right, tough guy, let's see how you do with this greasy Canadian.
I love it. I love it. I have everybody convinced I don't have tear ducts, but I guess the liquid that's in my eyeballs, I guess it's there.
Yeah, so. Can't blame me, man. No, it does feel good. It feels good to just chat about it. It doesn't have to come up every single week, but you and I both knew him very well. But yeah, like even when things are good, we gotta remember where we came from. We gotta remember our friends. We honor them. And I don't know, I'm just rambling. Thank you, Josh. I really appreciate you.
You're right, dude. Don't sell it short, especially in front of me, because I'll call you out on it. Right?
I know you will. I know. Yeah, and I need it. I love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
How are you guys doing after that? You guys okay? That was, man, we went places. I I felt like Josh and I chatted a little bit after this. Of course, I don't just like hang up on the people. Although I do hear podcasts that are kind of like this, where they're conversational and the people jump on a call and they just record that. And it's like the end of the show is the end of the call. And I just don't know, man. It feels abrupt. Like I like to sit and chat for a little bit too. And especially with somebody like Josh, like he understands how this all this works. So I actually start to like copy paste, and I'm running my compressor through the stuff. I'm doing my editing and all that kind of stuff. So we can kind of do that and chat at the same time. But man, really, really grateful for that conversation. For anybody who knew Bobby Pauls, I hope that was okay for you. If you didn't know Bobby Pauls, hopefully you get a sense of what he meant to so many of us. And I don't know, I don't want to get too preachy about it, but for me personally, like my big takeaway is just like, I say it a lot, every day is a gift, man. We're lucky to be here. And I'm glad that you guys are here. Glad that you guys are open for this type of conversation. Bit of a different video game podcast. We sprinkle some video games in there just to maybe categorize the show in video games on Apple Podcasts. I don't know. I don't think that was really the intent, but appreciate you, Josh. Appreciate you guys all for being here. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. If you haven't already done it, hit the like button on the YouTube video. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys thought of it. Let me know what you guys think about the new video format. Shout out to producer Ryan Turford here at Carpool Gaming, making all this stuff possible. And before we go, we've got a little clip of Bobby and me, actually. There's really nothing like remarkable about this, which is kind of what I wanted to go for this time. There's a lot of moments that we've had over the years. This is just one of the close to the end of a show that we did for Cup of Joe. It's just like the last minute or so. And I always liked how we finished. It was like we're chatting, and like, all right, man, I gotta go. And it's like, all right, that's it. It was such a weird thing. There's no that show, Cup of Joe and Nintendo. You guys you owe it to yourself. Go back, youtube.com/Nintendo Guru. There's a playlist. Bob, you'll see a ton of videos over there. And a lot of people, when we talk about me and Bob, we talk about If We're at Nintendo, but Cup of Joe and Nintendo was sort of the spiritual successor where we just chatted. And I just wanted to give you guys a sense of a little bit of that. If you want to go check that out, I'd appreciate it. Thank you again to all the patrons, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye. It was the same with Mario Land, 3D Land on 3DS.
That was a
same
good game too, man.
Tell me, dude.
That was such a good game. I would even argue that is probably better than 3D World.
You know, it's funny because I look at this one, 3D World, and I'm like, I'm day one on this thing. And I totally skipped out on whatever, New Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe.
Yeah.
I totally didn't get that one.
Yeah.
But like, maybe I should go check that one out too. Like that's
a good one, but that's hard. That's a hard one too. But it's really good.
And it included Luigi U, right?
Yeah. Luigi U is just
that one's the tough one. That's
hard.
the weird stuff.
That's just but all right, man. I'm gonna bounce. I'll talk to you.
Glad we didn't fight too hard.
It's all good. Love you.
Okay. Bye. Love you too.